Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million. 1 million. 1 million. 1 million.
What's up, Cinemaniacs? We are back. And who are we? Well, I am Shane Moore. You can find me over at facebook.com/thecineBros. You can find me on moviepilot.com/thecineBros. Twitter, your Instagram. You can find me at the CineBros. You can find me on youtube.com/themoviehousemaniacs. All right. Who else do we have on the show? Obviously, we have the Bryman with the underscores in there. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really well. I just I got back from a show last night. I think it's starting to show up on a lot of people's Facebook feeds that we happened to go see Pete Davidson last night, who is an SNL cast member. And yeah, he was super funny, and we really had a good time during his show. Even the openers that he had, one of his friends, one of his really good friends, is one of his openers, and he actually does some writing for SNL. And he was super funny, but Pete came on and was slaying the audience from like beginning to end. So I really enjoyed our time. And then something that you asked me just before we came on and started recording was about how did we get Pete to give our little name drop there.
Yeah. Shameless plug from Pete Davidson.
Yes, absolutely. A shameless plug. Well, so me and Chad, we walked out of comics, which it was awesome, by the way, because he not only did Chad invite me, but he also upgraded the ticket so that we were sitting like in the front row to watch the show. So he was, very generous and brought me along, and it was like a blast. It was just a good time. So we got out and we were sitting at the bar, and they had some Rock'em Sock'em Robots. We started playing that a little bit. Well, we see Pete Davidson come out. And Chad was like, we should go over and talk to him. I'm like, I don't think he wants to talk to us whatsoever. Chad's like, no, he seems like pretty cool. We'll go over and talk to him in a few minutes after he's done talking with all the girls that are surrounding him right now. Right. I was like, you're a smart man. You're a smart man to Chad. So we walked over after all the females had, not all of them, but most of them had kind of, left the scene. We went over there, and Chad was like, hey, can I buy you a shot? So we bought Pete Davidson a shot. He chose this shot called green tea, which tastes like green tea, which is why it kept me actually in Mohegan a little bit longer than I even wanted to be. But it ended up being a pretty great thing because we just asked him. Chad was like, hey, do you mind giving us a little name drop for our podcast? And he's like, oh, what is it about? So we started talking to him, and during his set, he talks about how he's like a movie lover. He's like, I just sit around and watch movies. He said he smokes, watches movies.
Right. Naturally.
And one of his favorite movies is Jaws.
Oh, man. It's a good thing I wasn't there.
Yeah, you would have just started quoting Jaws.
I would have just started talking about Jaws nonstop.
And he has a joke in his set that's about Jaws. And it's really funny. Okay. It's a really good joke. So I'm not going to spoil anything because it's something that someone of a big Jaws fan and a Pete Davidson fan like yourself,
yes,
you should definitely check this out.
Yeah.
So we were talking to him about it, and he was like, absolutely. He's like, I have a friend that does like movie podcasting stuff too, and so he was like, yeah, absolutely, let's do it. And he's like, that would be great. So I gave them my camera. Yep. His buddy, I gave him a camera, and he filmed for about 15 seconds, and he said, the Movie House Maniacs, check them out, subscribe, and it was really, really cool. He was so like just chill and down to earth. Like I thought that was awesome. So I told him that we were going to be putting it on the page and everything. He was like, sweet, dude, do it. He's like, that's great. So he was really cool. Definitely, he's going to be filming an HBO special soon. I had mentioned to you before, and you should definitely check it out. He's going to be doing it in New York City. I think it's soon, within the next couple months.
He'll be watching this, but thank you, Pete.
Seriously, that was so cool. And I'm in the honor of Mr. Pete Davidson. I'm wearing my Jaws shirt. So, yeah. So, you know what? What I'll do, I'll throw the little clip in right here.
Yo, what up? It's Pete Davidson, and make sure you check out the Movie House Maniacs, a really cool podcast with these guys.
These guys, and a man who loves Jaws.
I love Jaws.
Loves Jaws.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
And that was the clip that we got from Pete Davidson. So, yes, that was it was a really good time, and I'm looking forward to seeing him perform again, because he tried out some new jokes and stuff like that, and everything that he tried out seemed to work really well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else he comes out with. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk about movie stuff now.
Yeah, let's do that.
He was in a movie, Trainwreck. Awesome. Yes, awesome movie. He actually was very funny in the role. So yeah, we're gonna move on to movie related news here. All right, we're gonna talk about some movies that are opening up this weekend.
Yes.
3 movies that are opening.
Yes.
The first one that's coming out is Risen. And that is, we've talked about that before. Yep. It's about like, kind of like the hunt.
It is. It's the manhunt. It's the manhunt for Christ.
The ultimate manhunt.
Resurrection from the perspective of a non-believer. And I know so much about this because you know how excited I am for this. Yes. But I'm the only person. I get the feeling like I've probably lost some Facebook friends because all I keep doing is liking and commenting and sharing like Facebook posts on Risen movie.
Yeah.
And and I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it for any. I have no religious agenda. I think, as you know. But I just
except for that cult you had me go into.
Yeah, except for that. Sorry about that. That didn't work out. But I just, for some reason, I find this movie very appealing.
But the other movie that's opening up against Risen is a movie called Race, and that is obviously about Jesse Owens. It's kind of a biopic about his story and how actually important he was. A lot of people don't know the whole role that he played in the Olympics, because that was when Hitler was kind of like at his peak of power, and he was really trying to show the Aryan race how great they were, and Jesse Owens ended up just destroying everybody, and it really hit the ego of Hitler pretty good. So
it looks really good. It looks like one of those movies that has the potential, even though it's obviously this is very early in 2016, still if it's powerful enough, it should have legs to be in the Oscar discussion.
Oh, yeah.
I get the feeling that a lot of people might look at that movie and say, looks really good, I want to see it. Not in my high priority, and maybe it's like a red box rental.
Yeah, I might want to go see Deadpool again.
I might want to see Deadpool again.
I want to get the crap scared out of me with Witch.
Panda. Yeah. Maybe they'll be excited about The Witch coming out.
Which is what we'll talk about next, yeah.
There's a lot of competition right now for moviegoers' attention.
I have a feeling it might fall a little flat. I think it's going to kind of tiptoe like the Jackie Robinson story with 42, how it was like, it was a good movie, but it wasn't like super powerful as it probably should have been.
Right.
Because of the role that Jackie Robinson just not only had in baseball, but in our country. And I think that it'll be something similar along those lines. Like, it might fall a little flat, which might be the reason why they debuted it in February instead of November. So we'll see.
I agree. That's a good analogy.
All right. So the Witch is the last one that's coming out this week, and we're gonna save the creepiest for last. And I just watched like kind of the first review. I mean, you saw me watching it, I'm sure, because I watched it while we were Skyping together.
You look squeamish.
Yeah, I watched the short one. It came out about a month ago. It was about a minute and 25 seconds. This is a kind of a horror movie that I would like to see. This is something similar to like The Babadook, which isn't. I mean, it has some jump scares in there, but it's not. The movie's not about jump scares. Like the jump scares that you got in a Babadook they were necessary to the film to just kind of keep you terrified. They weren't just there to scare you for no reason. You know, it wasn't like, boop, there's a cat. Boop, oop, there's a mouse. Like, that's stupid stuff. And it drives me crazy because I jump every time.
Yeah.
And it just takes me out of the film. It's like, why did they do that? There's no reason for it. Like, other than just get me to jump and poop my pants a little.
Yeah.
So, The Witch seems like it's going to be super creepy. The trailer that I watched, that was, I should have probably done like a reaction video or something to that, because that's creepy as.
Because your facial expressions were disgusting. If you recorded any of that, you should. It was worse than that. You should throw those on there. I want to read, and I'm going to read the tweet from Stephen King that came out on February 15th.
All right, and then you can give your quick thoughts, and we'll move on.
Yep. He said, "The Witch scared the hell out of me, and it's a real movie, tense and thought-provoking as well as visceral." And it was funny because before I actually had looked this up, I said that to you. I said that this felt like a very that visceral primal fear kind of movie, and it looks like to me it's going to be one of those leaving things to the imagination horror movies, which I think are always the best, where you very rarely, if ever, see the monster. Right. It's more about what you can't see, as opposed to what you can.
Yeah, have you seen The Babadook?
No, I have not actually. Dude, I know about it, but I haven't seen it.
That's one that you and your wife got to watch. I mean, that's one of those psychological, creepy movies that it's. And then the leading woman that was in that, I can't remember what her name is off the top of my head. She was phenomenal. And then you know how like kid actors can kind of be annoying from time to time, this movie, what's that?
All the time.
Yeah. So this movie, like the Witch, has a lot of child actors in it.
Yeah, it does.
They seem like they're doing a good job. Yep. And the Babadook actually has a child actor, and he does an amazing job. You like the transformation that happens is just for a kid to do that. It's like, whoo, he could have some serious work ahead of him in the future if he can keep up that kind of skill. So
some serious mental problems too.
Oh, yeah.
I always worry about that with child actors that star in movies like this.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you're talking about day after day, month after month of shooting really scary.
Dark stuff, yeah. So we're going to move on to, I'm going to do a quick little rundown with you. We're going to give our top 5 at the box office for this coming weekend.
Okay.
So we're going to go into this. This will be your first entry into our pool.
Number 1, I still can't see how Deadpool gets knocked off.
No way.
That's a given, I think.
I am in agreement. We are both at 1 on that.
2 through 5 are actually tough.
Yeah.
I know which movies I want to select. I'm not confident about the order, but I'll give them to you anyway.
Okay.
2, I'm gonna go with The Witch.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Not incredibly confident about that pick.
Right.
3, I'm gonna go Risen. 4, I'm gonna go Kung Fu Panda. 5, I'm gonna go Race.
All right. Okay. Mine is a little different than yours. I am definitely sticking with Deadpool at number 1. I think that's going to still do 60 to 80 million, somewhere in that range. I do think that Kung Fu Panda is still going to be hanging strong in its like 4th week or something like that. I think it's going to finish in the 2nd slot. You had Risen number 3.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that The Witch is going to, with good word of mouth, good Rotten Tomato score, is going to pull a lot of people in on Saturday night. Yes. So I think that The Witch will finish in the 3rd spot. Then I think we're talking Risen in the 4th spot, and then in the 5th slot we're going to say Race. So
we have the same top 5. We just
they're just jumbled up a little bit, and that's where the difficulty is actually picking the right order. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Those are our top 5. That's what we say are going to be in it this week. Got another little box office prediction in there before the weekend, and then we're going to be actually filming another show, which I might be able to get you on to Skype in a segment on Sunday. We're going to be filming around 4 o'clock, and we should be done around 5:15 or so. So, and we might. There's like a 5% chance that we might go live.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
So we'll see. We'll see how much I can get prepared and done on Saturday, the day before, to try and actually do that. All right. So we will move on. I'm gonna talk about a couple of quick topics that kind of popped up recently, and we're just gonna kind of glaze over them a little bit, especially this next one. John Wick.
Yes.
And it actually finally is in stone. It gets a sequel.
2017.
With 2017. And it gets a title. So we already knew that it was going to a sequel. We just didn't know what the title was going to be. It's John Wick Chapter 2. That's what the name is. And this time it's supposed to be he's going to be traveling to Rome to kick some booty. And it's going to come out February 10th, 2017. What are your quick thoughts on
You want to know something funny? So first of all, I loved the movie. I loved the first one.
It was amazing.
It was really good.
Such a surprise.
The other day, I'm in Walmart, right? And I walked by a couple of people, and they were looking at movies, and the husband, I assume husband, wife, the husband was telling the wife about John Wick, and he summed it up so succinctly and so brilliantly. Yeah. This is what he said verbatim. They killed the guy's dog, and he went nuts. Which I was like, well, there was a little more to it than that, but yeah, pretty much.
In a very vague way, that's pretty much what happened.
In a really vague way.
I mean, it was more about his wife because it was the last.
It was so much more about the wife, but it was true. But
the dog is what pulled everybody in to the movie. Like everybody was like, that dog died, and everybody was like, you're gonna kill these.
Well, it was because of, first of all, obviously
fools.
He's pissed about the dog being killed, but also what the dog represents.
Right.
It's the last gift from his wife.
His wife, yeah.
Sort of, for lack of a better term, her parting gift to him before she passed away. But I loved that movie. The fight scenes were great.
They were so good. So well done.
The story, like, just the nuances of his story of having to come back to that life after trying to so desperately to put it behind him. And the thing I loved the most was I forgot the Russian guy's name, the head guy.
Yeah.
But I loved that first reaction he had when he found out what his son did.
Yeah.
He's like,
oh no.
Dumb shit.
Yeah, give me some vodka.
We're all screwed. Like, you don't know who this guy is.
The boogeyman.
The boogeyman, which is such a great reference too. Yes, and he kept making those references to the boogeyman, and that was one of those movies that I think has probably a cult following. It slipped under the radar quite a bit.
Made a lot of money though.
It made good money.
Yeah.
I suspect this is probably one of those ones where the first one had such good word of mouth, people loved it so much that the second one will make more money.
Yeah.
At the box office.
Yeah.
And
rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. And I think as long as they have a good enough story, it shouldn't suck.
I really hope they have another continental kind of like a chain continental, but this one's in Rome. Because that hotel, I would love to see a story about that hotel.
Oh, I know.
That would be so
that could be its own
incredible.
spinoff.
Yeah, it would be so incredible to watch.
But you could film an entire movie just in that hotel.
Yeah. Just like kind of going to the different characters and
because the best part about the hotel is that it's supposed to be like, no fighting in the hotel. It's like the safe ground.
Yeah.
Or as my kids would call it, base.
Yes.
When I'm chasing them around the yard and they stand like right next to the shed, that's base.
Yeah.
So I think they could definitely do like an offshoot. They could even just call the movie The Hotel.
Yeah. The Continental. Yeah.
The one other thing I'm hopeful for this movie is that because of the sort of cult success of the first one, I'm hoping that with the second one they can pull in a really big name bad guy.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. Not that all of the bad guys were really good in this first one. Even the dude who does like the Geico commercials, or who was the guy?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. He's the State Farm or Allstate.
State Farm guy, yeah. Mayhem.
Yeah.
Mayhem. Yeah. He was good. I liked him actually.
He was funny. He was
He was like the comic relief that
he was good.
But yeah, it'll be. I hope they can build a good enough story around it. Obviously, we're
going to get probably like a bunch more action in this, which is surprising because that was so much action in it. We'll probably get a lot more of that. Who knows what the story will be to kind of suck us in. I'm sure it's not going to be as impactful as somebody. Maybe he gets a cat.
Killed the cat this time. Now they've taken out his cat and his dog. All hell breaks loose.
Who knows? Who knows what happens?
They kill his dog, and he goes nuts. It was just... I had to, like, try not to laugh as I was walking by these people, and I'm listening to this guy give the description. Not laughing at him, laughing with him, because that was a really good basic description in under 10 words.
Yes, absolutely.
Of John Wick.
Yeah. All right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next one and talk about a baddie getting introduced to a very popular movie that was kind of also under the radar. So a couple of articles I've read, and some of them, I'm not going to mention the website's names because I don't want them to get too mad at me, because I don't like when people post like rumors as facts.
Yeah.
I don't like when they do that because I just think it's just it's very deceiving. It's very clickbaity, and I don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah. And one of these things is a couple articles that I read that said that Julianne Moore has signed on to play the baddie in the next Kingsman movie. Now, that is not true that she is signed on. She is in talks, which that's good, because I think she's a phenomenal actress and she's good in everything, except for that atrocity that came out last year, Seventh Son, but nobody was good in that. It's like the director asked everybody to put out a crap performance. And they obliged. So what is going on here is that she's in talks to actually play the baddie. Would you want to see, I don't even know why I'm rephrasing the question that way, but would you want to see Julianne Moore come on for Kingsman 2?
Sure, why not? First of all, I find her extremely attractive. I've always liked her. She strangely enough, one of the movies I really liked her in when she was younger was Assassin. When she was
oh my gosh, yeah,
she was great.
Yeah.
I loved that scene in the elevator where the woman walks in with like the mink coat, and she pulls out like a spray can, a black spray can, and she like leans into her and she's making like a kind of noise, and while she's doing it, she's spraying coat, which was great. Yeah, I mean, why not? First of all, listen, as far as the rumor goes, this isn't the first time the internet has jumped the gun.
Oh, it happens like every day, and it pisses me off.
Every second.
It pisses me off.
But yeah, I'd love to see her in it. She's very versatile. I can see her. She could play any kind of role.
She'd be a great bad guy.
She's a great
bad woman, I guess.
I would think
bad
she
gal.
could be as good a villain as she could be a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. Just, I mean, you adding extreme talent. I mean, you need to replace the likes of a Sam Jackson and a Colin Firth. So, I mean, you need some great talent, because as much as I like Mark Strong, he's going to be kind of the main person that's going to be going around with Eggsy now in this movie, Taron Egerton, and I think you need that a little bit of star power. Which Mark Strong doesn't really have that as good as I think he is. Like, he was so great in the Sherlock Holmes movie. I liked him as Sinestro in the Green Lantern movie. I thought him and Ryan Reynolds in that movie saved that movie from being a total bomb, because they were really good. Everything else was kind of the story, and just everything else was just kind of garbage. The CG garbage, but overall they kind of were that's the reason why that movie made any money. It didn't make money, but how it made any money at all, people going to see it, was the performances that they put out. So as far as Mark Strong, but he's not a big name, and like I think you're going to see that with his Brothers Grimsby movie that's coming out. I think that's going to probably not do very well. Sacha Baron Cohen is not this huge draw. He does have a couple of movies out there that are very weird, and they made a lot of money. But I think people are kind of getting a little tired of that routine, and it seems like he's just doing that routine again. So I think that will show that Mark Strong is not the front and center name that you want, but Julianne Moore, she is phenomenal in everything.
Yes,
everything. So, you know, getting her to sign on would be great. I hope that she signs on, and hopefully they'll get that done sooner than later.
I think... and I would go obviously see that sequel because I loved the first.
Kingsman was amazing.
The thing that concerns me is
I love Colin Firth. I'm going to miss him so much. They talked about him possibly coming back, but having him be his twin.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a little lazy. But it's almost like I'm kind of on the fence. I'm like, I really want to see him. He was so good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie for those that haven't seen it, but I just want to see him again in that kind of role. Yeah. So it's going to be sad if we don't see something like that. But
that's what I was going to say. That's what concerns me is they shouldn't have handled his character the way they did.
Yes, good one.
So
way to work around it. That was good.
Yeah, yeah. They shouldn't have handled Han Solo's character the way they did.
And scene.
So, my God, it really, at this point, if you haven't seen Star Wars, you're just not going to see it.
All right. And some other news that we're going to quickly talk about. There goes my seal bark noise again. All right, so let's see. So Deadline, this is great news for you. We actually have an idea when this movie is going to come out. Deadline reports Warner Brothers will bring Blade Runner 2 to theaters January 12th, 2018.
A little ways off.
The MLK holiday weekend.
FYI, Harrison Ford is not getting any younger.
No, he is not.
We need to expedite the process here a little bit.
Seriously. So are you excited about the news? See, yeah. I'm a little disheartened about the news because that's 2 years away.
Oh yes, I mean I'm disheartened about the length of time
that
take, and not to mention the fact that's going to be hard to keep people interested 2 years out.
I mean, it's going to be what? I mean, the movie came out, what, like 1980?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're talking a lot of time has gone by.
A lot. I mean, people give less notice for a wedding. I mean, like, most weddings take place about a year to a year and a half after a couple has been engaged.
Right.
So 2 years.
Yeah, I don't understand what's taking them so long. I mean, obviously, I'm sure Harrison Ford is busy because I know he wants to do another Indiana Jones movie. I know that, which would be awesome.
That sound like a bad thing.
No, it's not. I would love to see another Indiana.
It's happening.
Indiana Jones is my favorite character that he has ever played.
Mine too. Yep.
It is without a doubt.
Mine too, it's not even close, and that's saying a lot when you consider that Han Solo is.
I mean, I absolutely love those Indiana Jones movies. They are just so incredibly well done.
They are.
And even the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which wasn't great by any means, it was actually not very good. I still enjoyed my time watching the movie. It was an entertaining enough film. As absurd as it got at times, it was still entertaining.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to that more than I am Blade Runner 2. But
yeah, the other. See, the reason why I'm so looking forward to it is because you and I talk about this all the time, about the iconic nature of Harrison Ford in terms of the roles that he has played. And for me, Blade Runner would probably be the number 3 or number 4 for characters that he's played. Again, for me, it's Indy 1, Han Solo 2, and then you're either like, Blade Runner is in there. I still think his performance in Air Force One as President James Marshall is up there.
That's probably my third.
It's close. Yeah, I mean it's a close 3-4.
Get off my
plane. I mean it's just. And now here's the other thing too, and I can't call it iconic because it wasn't that kind of movie. I think, as you know, my favorite movie of all time,
Fugitive,
and he's just unbelievable in that movie. It still vexes to this day that he did not even get an Oscar nomination for that movie.
Mm-hmm.
When you consider that Tommy Lee Jones won Best Supporting Actor for that movie.
Right.
I'm not going to get off on my tangent here about Oscars because, as we know, I don't really care about the 5-pound trophy.
Oh.
This is where you insert a clip of Deion Sanders' "Must Be the Money." Must be the money.
We're both kind of like you're more excited than I am about Blade Runner 2 because I enjoyed the film, but I didn't love it. It wasn't like one of my favorite. It's probably not even in my. It might be in my top 10 Harrison Ford films, but probably not. Mm-hmm. It might be. I'd really have to go in depth because he's got so many films out there. But I mean, 3 of those Indiana Jones movies are going to be in there. 3 of the Star Wars movies, maybe 4 are going to be in the top 10. So like it might that movie might not even make his top 10 for
it's
me.
It's funny you mentioned that. I agree. I don't think that movie would be in my top 10 Harrison Ford movies either, but I still think that the character, the role,
Deckard,
was very I don't call it very iconic, but in terms of the characters he's played, it's up there.
Yeah. All right, and the last little topic that we're going to go into before we start talking about the subscribers that happened, because we had several more subscribers pop up over the last...
we're this much closer to Chad.
Week or so. We still have quite a few followers to get on Facebook. I actually think that that's going to be the tougher one to get to. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe
Hopefully...
Pete Davidson can give us that bump we need.
Oh, man, I should have talked to him about that.
You should have. In fact, that's kind of the weird part about... Like, I'm surprised he... Part of me thinks Chad really wants to do this because if I'm him, I'm thinking to myself, all right, if we approach Pete Davidson and he's really cool and he does this little brief commercial for us, this could bump our likes and our subscriptions. In which case, I may have to get myself into some tighty whities and pose like a creepy South Park Batman or whatever the hell that thing is. But so. I don't think Chad thought that through, or maybe he did.
I think he
dying to squeeze his ass into that thong.
I think he just really wants the subscribers to get up there, and he'll do whatever it takes, even if it is dressing up like a bat thing.
That's what That's why Chad is. Chad, you're better than me.
He's the Chad.
You are the Chad. That's why he's
So the last little topic that we're going to talk about before we talk about the subscribers.
Yeah.
Fox. This is another rumor that people are running with out there. Fox. This is what people are saying. Studios went. Fox says Wolverine is getting an R rating. Yeah. No, that's not what Fox said. Fox actually the person that actually came out and said it, or that took a picture of this photo that was at a toy convention or something like that, is that they anticipate. There's an anticipation of an R rating. Which all that means, and I like that they're saying that, is that they're not going to neuter their film to make it PG-13, which is great. That means that you can actually show... Wolverine going to that berserker rage and go to town on people like you kind of got in, like you saw a little bit in X-Men 1 when he was in the cage fighting. You saw in a little bit in X-Men 2 when he was, when all those people stormed the mansion and he went a little crazy there. But you didn't really get to fully see his rage.
They had to dial it back for the purposes of...
Yeah, you can't go too crazy with, these awesome blades that are sticking out of your hands. And I'm hoping that it is true, because I think a lot of other people are going, now everything's going to get, like, all the, Disney movies are now going to be rated R because of how Deadpool did. Like, no, it's not. I think that the studios... Don't get me wrong, I think that studios do like to jump on the bandwagon while it's running, and it's doing well. But I think that they're smart enough to realize that they can't just take the Batman vs. Superman movie and the Avengers movies and then just shift them to R, because they're going to lose a lot of their audience. Like, I'm always on the fence about showing my son, who's about 8 years old, some of these Avengers movies, because they do get a little dark in tone. Like the first Captain America, the first Avenger, that was a little dark in tone. So I didn't show him that. But I did let him watch part of The Winter Soldier, because that was a little brighter, a little lighter. It had a lot of action. It did get a little dark at times, but I just didn't have him watch those scenes. And the Avengers movie, I had him watch that, because even though they killed Agent Coulson, that was just kind of like a powerful moment. It wasn't as dark as you can take it. And they had some humor built into that too. So that was kind of good. With Wolverine, I think Wolverine has always been that character that they could have gone R with. They were just nervous to go R with. Yeah. And Deadpool, the success of Deadpool just kind of lends itself saying like, all right, we can actually go R with Wolverine, and there is an audience out there that would really like to see that. And then on top of that, you have movies like I think Suicide Squad could have served well with an R rating because of just the purpose of them being villains. I think we have movies like, you know, like even like you go into the animation realm, like Mortal Kombat, like the computer game Mortal Kombat could serve well from an R rating. You know, with all the blood and guts that you could get into, like good choreography if they dumped a lot of money into it. You have movies that are like, if they ever did an X-Force movie, I think that movie would do much better because it's very similar to the Suicide Squad, much better with an R rating than it would be with a PG-13 rating. Because you're going to have Deadpool, like you could have Deadpool, Wolverine, you could have Colossus, Negasonic Teenage Warhead, and, you know, possibly one or two other characters in there to kind of be in that R-rated world. And then when Deadpool, if he ever does cross over with X-Men, you can dumb him down a little bit. He doesn't, because he's not going to be the main star. So you can not necessarily dumb him down, but you could muffle him a little bit. He could still be, you know, snarky and stuff, and even maybe break the fourth wall and say something like he drops an F-bomb, and they bleep him out, and then he's like, "Oh, that's right, I'm in an X-Men movie."
Oh, it'd be great.
That would be a hilarious moment.
It would.
I don't know if the X-Men would do that because their movies are very, very dark in tone. Especially the last one, Days of Future Past, was very dark. But that would be a clever way to kind of do it.
I don't want to say desperately want a Wolverine movie to be an R rating, but I'd like to see them take the leash off of him.
Yeah.
Because I think I've told you this before, like my favorite Wolverine moment in any of the movies was just the cameo that he had in what was in First Class, right? Yeah. Where they come up to him in the bar and he's smoking the cigar and he's like, "Fuck off." Yeah. I mean, that's Wolverine to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'd like to see that drawn out into a full-length film.
Right. Because you don't want him to be campy like Deadpool. Just personify the actual comic book character.
Old man, gritty, pissed off Logan.
Yeah.
That's
who gets into it,
I want to see.
Cuts people with his blades, and people bleed.
I want to see him stick his blades into somebody's temple and like watch their head shake while blood like pours out of their mouth and ears. That's the Wolverine I want to see. Because that's, to me, that's what Wolverine is.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that Hugh Jackman could easily dial that up.
He's a very talented actor, so I'm not worried about that at all.
Awesome.
All right, we're gonna go on. We obviously both want an R-rated movie. We don't think that all the studios are just gonna start throwing R ratings on all of these movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
If you ask me if I think they're gonna do it, though, unfortunately, I don't.
You don't think they'll make
too much of it? No, they've just got too much of a built-in audience with that character, and
but the movies haven't done great. The Wolverine movies haven't done great. They've done good, but not great.
I mean, Origins was
garbage.
Yeah. They've essentially admitted that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they could. I mean, I still feel like in the end they're going to say it'll come down to dollars and cents.
Yeah.
You know, are we going to lose? We know we're going to lose some of our audience by having it, you know, by giving it an R rating. But then again,
look at Deadpool, man. Deadpool is the highest grossing.
Look at what Deadpool just pulled off.
Yeah.
And that movie, I don't think it's going to, I agree with you. I don't think it's going to make $1 billion, but I think it's going to make close.
I think it'll be somewhere between that $500 and $700 million realm.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in the 750 to 850 range. Yeah. It's gonna make a lot of money.
Because I mean, we're very close to other big name movies coming out, so I don't think it's gonna go crazy. And I do think that it's gonna lose steam fairly fast because it's not one of those movies that I think you're gonna see people going to see 10 times, which you almost need that kind of, you know, rewatchability to cross the $1 billion mark. Like, I mean, like, I've seen it twice. I probably won't go see it again in the theater. I enjoyed both my times very, very much. But I want it on DVD when it comes out, like Blu-ray. I'll buy a Blu-ray as soon as it comes out because it was
3D.
Great.
If it's assuming it's in 3D, yeah. Oh god,
it'll be great. So, but I'm not in a like. I'm just not. I'm good with my viewing so far. Whereas like Star Wars, I was sad that I only was able to watch it twice. I wanted to watch it 3 or 4 times. Yeah, you're so lucky. So lucky. All right, so we are going to go on to the new subscribers.
Yeah.
The first one was 5 days ago, and that is a man named Antonio Ferme. I think it's Ferme. It's Ferme. So I think that's what his name is.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thank you very much. And, you know, when I saw his name pop up several days ago, I was like, the first thing that popped into my mind was that this dude is a beast at selling candles. And I was like, you know, this guy, he's a candle salesman. And not only is he a candle salesman, he is the best damn candle salesman ever. And he is going to walk into your house, whether you like candles or not, and you're going to walk away with cardboard box after cardboard box filled with all sorts of scented candles. Even if like a pumpkin spice, he's going to be able to sell me a pumpkin spice candle scented candle. And you know what? I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to rock that thing because Antonio Ferme is the person that sold me on it.
Okay. That would... I don't want to jump to any conclusions about what he does professionally based on his name.
Yeah.
I probably would not have gone candle salesman, though. But
it's the first thing that popped into my mind.
It's funny. You would have thought that was the first thing that would have popped into my mind, given how much I love candles.
You love candles.
I do love candles. It's really... it's weird.
Antonio, give us the hookup.
If he works at Yankee Candle, Antonio, in the off chance that you somehow work at Yankee Candle, which makes Shane the greatest soothsayer ever, you know, if I could get the buy two, get two large candles free at Yankee Candle with your discount, I mean, we're talking jackpot. I'll invite you over to dinner for Thanksgiving going forward. And I make a deep fried turkey, just so you know.
Actually, Antonio, he actually hit me up on Facebook.
Yes.
And I actually saw him for the first time, I think yesterday. Yeah. Because they actually did his own movie podcast, which is about 15 to 20 minutes long. They did a kind of a short little film. It was him and 3 of his buddies. And I can't remember off the top. I think it's called The Movie Hut.
These are the young men. The young men.
And, yeah, they have their own studio. I think it's at their high school.
I watched it, that 16-minute thing. I was really impressed.
Yeah. They did a good job.
They did do a good job.
Yeah. I even posted a comment in the comment section. I was like, I disagreed with a lot of the stuff that you guys were saying, but I love the passion that you were bringing across.
I love the passion. Who was the guy on the far left? I thought he was a really good host.
Yes, he did. He was a great, as he referred to himself as the talking head.
The talking head.
Yes, he did a very good job.
Yeah.
I remember Antonio because he is the person that hit me up, and I basically, he was like, do you have any suggestions about doing a I was like, yeah, start. Yeah. Like, that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest hurdle. Get going. Come up with an idea and go.
Don't get off the treadmill.
Get them up with an idea and go. And see how it turns out.
They're talented young men. I wish them all the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks for the subscription. We actually subscribe to you too. So you know, we hope all the best. Next one up is a man who has quite a few subscribers himself. 651. Wow. His name is Ian Gutowski. I really enjoy the name, and it looks like he does some comedy.
Okay.
Actually, I checked out one of his videos. He does this kind of like Satan's Corner talk, and where he is kind of dressed up as Satan, but he kind of almost acts like a tame Satan. Like, he starts talking about, like, I don't know, he must have a child or something, or he borrowed somebody's child, but he was like, yeah, he's like, I'm going to eat some babies today, and all that kind of stuff, and he has the baby in the picture, he's like, looks pretty good, maybe I'll put it off till later, and all that kind of stuff. It was actually pretty funny, and I really enjoyed the little video that he did. Do you have anything for Satan himself, Mr. Ian Gutowski? Do you think he'll be in Risen?
No. I just want to say, I hope I don't meet you. I guess. If in fact you are the devil. I hope I never see you, ever.
All right, we're going to move on to the next one, and that is 5 days ago as well. David Harvey. Now, I feel like he must be related to Steve Harvey somehow. So, like, do you think that's like his cousin?
Or Two-Face.
Ooh.
It's a
Harvey,
good last
Harvey
name.
Dent. Yeah. David Harvey. Maybe he changed it up and changed his, like, he went from HD to DH. And,
Right?
yeah, and he's changed his Dent. So it wasn't Dent Harvey. That'd be too obvious.
Is he gruesomely ugly on one half of his face?
He doesn't even show his profile picture.
And there it is. So Harvey Dent is now a subscriber. Thank you, Harvey.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're going to go on to the next one. Fernando Corona.
Oh, my God. He's so good looking.
He's so good looking. And not only that, I think he must be the founder of Corona.
It's spelled the same?
Exactly the same. There's even instead of like a tilde above like the N,
Yeah.
there's a lime.
God, this guy's great. Also, a very big fan of his beer in the summer. He's good looking and he makes good beer.
All right, last one up. 4 days ago. His name is Paul Castro.
God, these people have great last names.
I know. It's like it makes me feel bad like about myself and my last name.
Your last name?
Yeah. Well, your last name is almost my wife's first name, so I obviously am drawn to that.
My last name has Christ in it. That's why he can't wait to see Risen. Oh.
Yeah, Paul Castro. He's quite dapper. He's got like a nice button-down shirt on in his profile picture. Maybe he's on the run.
On the run. Man on the run.
I don't know, but I love his name. He looks like a fun. He's smiling. He's all happy. He looks like a fun dude. Maybe we could go hang out with Fernando Corona, and we could all have Coronas together.
Sure.
Yeah.
We should go have like chicken wings with Paul Castro and
Coronas.
And have Corona.
Yeah, absolutely. We have to.
Should be able to get the beer free, I would think.
You think a businessman is going to take from his own stash? Probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah, he's going to make us. He's going to make us pay for it.
Yeah. Right. Probably.
Well, we want to thank everyone. We want to thank Antonio, Ian, David, Fernando, Paul, all of you for subscribing. We really appreciate it. We have 2 other subscribers that just haven't popped up on the feed yet, and we will probably talk about them on.
Thank you in due time.
And yes, we will thank you on Sunday. Hopefully, your names will pop up on the screen. We're just really jealous, especially of these people's names.
Of your names.
Yeah.
Better than ours.
Yeah, they're probably more handsome.
Wouldn't take much.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Why are our wives still with us?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're lucky.
Well, the conversation that I have with a lot of people, because like sometimes I show pictures of my wife to people that I'm meeting for the first time, and they're like, "Wow, she's really pretty," and I'm like, "Okay, that's your backwards way of insulting me." And yeah, you're right.
Wow, you really outdid yourself there.
Yeah, well, it's true because, and then what I tell people is I'm like, yeah, she's a hard 8 and I'm a soft 5, and you're not supposed to make more than a 2-point jump.
Yeah.
Either way. Mm-hmm. That's almost a 4-point jump.
Right.
Because if it's at the low end of 5 and she's at the high end of 8, that's almost 4 points. That is a long way to slide along the meter.
Yeah.
And, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, if she's cheating on me, I get it. I get it. I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, well, I'm going to stay with you anyway.
I can't do any better.
Can't do any better. There's no chance I can do better. So, yeah, I mean, I'm in this for the long haul.
You have leeway. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, you do have a bit of a leash. Even if I had a leash, it wouldn't matter. No one's walking this dog. So. We get off track. We really could derail a train.
Yeah.
With
just a few thoughts.
With relative ease.
Yeah. Just a few thoughts. You can really get off track.
The tracks.
Yeah.
Like falls off the cliff.
This is a movie talk show, but we can really bring it anywhere.
We can. We can talk about candles, beer, coffee, our wives. I mean, our show knows no bounds, and that's why you should subscribe.
Got to get the ring in there while you're doing your smile. Maybe a little dot. Ding.
I don't know if my teeth are white enough this morning.
this morning.
I did have that coffee. I haven't brushed since the coffee, so there could be a stain going on there.
Got some stain action.
So
take a Tide stick.
Mangled. Oh, that's not a bad idea. What about like one of those Mr. Clean pads?
Bleach pen.
Or yeah, and what do they call those? Yeah, like those Mr. Clean pads that can
the OxyClean.
The magic erasers.
Ah.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine my entire mouth falling apart after putting that in it, but man, my teeth would probably look really white for like a good 4 to 6 seconds.
4 to 6 seconds.
Before like my face would melt off like the dude in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yeah. Like, oh my God, this hurts so much, but my teeth have never been whiter.
They look so good. I gotta take a selfie.
Yeah. Again, we've derailed.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching our latest talk. I think this is CineBrief number 4. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, thanks for taking the journey with us. You know what? Let's just sign off.
You can find me at Facebook.com/HollywoodBrian.
Yeah.
Still haven't changed that. Probably won't.
Yep.
On Instagram, BKC8377, and on Twitter at @the_Bry_man.
Excellente. And you can find me everywhere at the Cinebros. That's Facebook.com/the Moviepilot.com/the Cinebros, Instagram.com/the Cinebros, Twitter.com/the Cinebros. But on YouTube, you can find me at YouTube.com/the MovieHouseManiacs. That's right. And you can watch Pete Davidson give us a shout out on this show earlier on. Or it's actually just on YouTube now.
It's there.
It's just there.
It's circulating the interwebs.
It is. Very, very well. Enjoying it. I love it. Oh, Pete Davidson's mom?
Yes.
Favorited my tweet about Pete Davidson.
Cool. That's awesome.
It is pretty awesome.
Pete Davidson's mom.
Yeah, that was great. All right, so we will sign off. We'll say peace. Peace out. Peace.
If you watch the show on YouTube, please click that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And thank you for watching.